Week 6 brings me out just a little short trip from our studio about 10 minutes away at Rudder Stadium, where the Athens Bulldogs, they took on the Logan Chieftains tonight, an old school rivalry. We'll have coverage of that game and more for you tonight on Gridiron Glory! Hey, welcome into Studio A, everyone. I'm your host, Joseph Payton, and it was an absolutely beautiful night for football tonight, and now we've got it all, the good stuff, right here on tonight's show for you right now. And we kick things off tonight out in the TVC, Ohio. Reporter Thomas Garverick, he was in Wellston tonight for the Golden Rockets date with River Valley. Now, Thomas, how do you think things shook out there, man?
Joey P., these are two teams going in the complete opposite direction. The Raiders' struggles continued, but for the Golden Rockets, they did what they do best, and that's grind out games on the ground. That Golden Rocket rushing attack was late to take off because the Raider defense had other ideas. They stuck Travis J. John on fourth down, and the Raiders take over on downs. But Raiders quarterback Patrick Brown goes back to pass, and it's a loose football. So here we go. They turn the ball over on downs. They stuff Dre John, and here comes Patrick Brown. He turns the ball over, and the Golden Rockets are back on offense. It's Ryan Mahonen. He takes the ball. He takes it down 28 yards. He sets it up for Mahonen himself. He's going to go down, and boom, he takes a big hit. He scores for 6. He'll take it, and the Golden Rockets take a 6-0 lead. Brown finally gets the Raider offense going as he finds favorite target Lane Fitch wide open for the 35-yard gain. That play sets up this 14-yard touchdown connection from Brown to Jarrett McCarley. Raiders take the lead 7-6. After struggling for most of the first half, J. John finally takes liftoff. He takes it to the right sideline, and Joey P., there goes that man for 37 yards, putting the ball inside the Raider 10. 3 plays later, J. John caps up the 70-yard drive with a 4-yard score. He counted for 73 yards on that drive alone and finished with 217 yards on the night. He carried the Golden Rockets to a 28-7 win over the Raiders.
Man, Thomas, why was this game, in your opinion, such a defensive slugfest early on?
Well, Joey P., I was out for the Raiders game in Nelsonville 2 weeks ago, and I saw the same offensive struggles that continued tonight. They stayed conservative by running the ball up the middle with Brown for little to no gains. That type of offense for big plays did not set up the passing game. When the Raiders did air it out, guys were dropping passes or Brown was missing guys wide open. And surprisingly, the same was for Wellston for most of the first half. The Raiders keyed in on slowing down J. John early, and that's why you saw Mahonen getting a lot of the touches out of the backfield early on. The Golden Rockets are a team that depends on the run, and when they finally got J. John going late in the first half, J. John, Mahonen, and the rest of the Wellston rushing attack was too much to overcome, Joey P.
Well, the Golden Rockets, they've strung together a nice winning streak here in the middle of the season, and they turned the corner after their early season struggles. Tommy boy, it's always a pleasure having you on desk with me, my man. Now tonight, we finally got to catch a glimpse of the only undefeated team left in the SVC, Southeastern. And they took on Zane Trace tonight, so we sent SVC reporter Nick Niehaus there to see it happen. So, Nick, what did it look like?
Now, Joey P., I've been eager to see what this Panther team is all about. Southeastern hasn't beaten Zane Trace in 17 years. But like you said, they're the only undefeated team left in the SVC, so this could be their year to make it happen. Now, so we have a beautiful night going on in Chillicothe as we get to see the 2 out of the top 3 SVC teams. And this is going to be Lane Ruby up the right end as he takes this one himself, makes the defender miss in the backfield, does a little tiptoe right here, has defenders falling all over the place. And he's going to take this one 69 yards to pay dirt, making it 7-0 early on. Now Zane Trace, they're going to look to get those points back, and they're going to try it through the air. This is Ty Shane, the big guy, Jake Gino, and he says, "Get off of me," as he takes this one, and he's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling into the end zone, making it 6-7 early on. So Southeastern, they're going to get the ball back, and they're going to say, hey, look, we can do this. We can go through the air, too, as he gives this one to freshman Mikey Nutzer, who gets a touchdown, his first one of the year. So now Ty Shannon, who's found success in the passing game, sends this one up to Elliott Lynn, who mosses a couple defenders and takes it 63 yards, giving them really good field position to score. So Ty Shannon, he's found some success in the passing game. He's going to drop back again, and he's going to look for a couple receivers, doesn't see anyone, so he takes it himself. He's going to go, and then he's going to dive in the end zone. Doesn't make it, however, but they will score in the next play. So what we see here is this Southeastern offense. This is basically what they do. That's Carson Stauffer putting it in the end zone, making it 21-10 going into half.
So, Nick, we know both of these teams, they love the run game, but we saw a lot of passing in those highlights just now. So what was that all about?
So, Joey P., it's no question that both of these teams are run-heavy, but to my surprise, both teams performed really well in the air. Now, Southeastern has only attempted 23 passes before tonight and still stuck to the run game for the most part, but Lane Ruby was able to mix it up and give freshman Mikey Nusser his first receiving touchdown, as you saw earlier. Now, Zane Trace, on the other hand, they had huge plays through the air as Ty Shannon threw for over 140 yards in the first half alone. Although both teams are known for their running, they really were able to catch each other off guard by missing in the passing.
So if both teams were able to perform offensively pretty well, what gave Southeastern the edge?
So yeah, I know I said passing was really important in this game, but Joey P., that Southeastern offense sure can pound the ball on the ground. They stay in the same exact formation all game with two backs on each side of the quarterback, so the defense really has no idea who the ball is going to go to. With these two beasts at running back, Southeastern sure is a tough team to defend. Now, because of that powerful offense, Southeastern was able to exterminate that streak of 17 straight losses and keep their perfect season alive.
Well, Southeastern, they get to enjoy this one tonight, but we know they have a tough one next week facing Unioto. As always, thanks for having me, Nick. Now, of course, every Friday night, I am on a mission. I get to hang out with the best football fans that Southern Ohio has to offer, and to complete that mission tonight, I went out to Rudder Stadium to find our Fan of the Week. I'm here with my man David at Athens High School. He's whipping up the kettle corn. Get a good look at this right here. He is whipping it up for us tonight. This looks like some of the best kettle corn I've ever seen at a high school football game. All right, these cats are excited for the game right now, and they're giving us our best moves. I'm probably going to have to join them. Let's do this. I don't know if there's anybody that's more ready for tonight's game than this right here. I'm telling you right now, we've got Slobber on me. That means she's ready to rock and roll. This is incredible. I did not expect to see him here tonight. Did the Yellow Brick Road bring you here? Why did you end up here tonight?
We ended up here because there's no place like homecoming.
We saw a lot of cheers going on in pregame, but I saw one little girl, Taryn, who was really getting after it, and that is why she is our Fan of the Week. Hey, it's hard to argue there with Taryn bringing home the Fan of the Week t-shirt tonight. Be sure to catch us out at Trimble next week ahead of the Southern game. I am expecting big things from the Tomcat and Tornado faithful. Now, I wasn't the only one over in the Plains tonight. TVC Ohio lead reporter Clark Wicks was there too to catch all of the action. So, Clark, what went down at Rudder Stadium tonight?
Well, Joseph, this was a wild game. This Athens offense has scored 76 points in their last two games, but they ran into a buzzsaw tonight in the Logan defense. It was homecoming in Athens tonight. My man here has a Patrick the Star shirt on. Having some fun with it, but it was business as usual for Clay Davis. He finds his man Trace Albin, and he takes it 70 yards. He's not getting caught all the way into the end zone. Just 2 plays down, and the Athens is up 7-0. Now on their next drive, the Bulldogs attempt to add to the lead, but this Logan defense isn't giving up as they force a turnover on downs on the goal line. After some 3-and-outs from each team, Athens is facing 4th down, and Evan Adams wasn't able to make it happen. That's another turnover on down for the Bulldogs. Later in the half, Athens is marching, but Simon Rooker does his best Dikembe Mutombo impression and sends this pass right back. But you can't keep Clay Davis down for long as he hits Nate Trainer on the next play for a 24-yard gain. Bulldogs are inside their own 40 with less than a minute to go in the half, still up 7. Now on the next play, Davis hits Robert Dickelman at the 30-yard line. It's not going to be enough for the first down, but it doesn't matter. There's only 20 seconds left in the half. Here we are 2 plays later, just 5 seconds left. Davis is scrambling, and he's just going to heave it to his man Trainer, and it's underthrown and picked off by Tyler Cummin as time expires. Athens goes into the half leading by 7. They're not going to find the end zone until the 4th quarter, where they eventually win it 21-3.
Now, Clark, despite the loss, that Logan defense, they really stepped it up tonight against their rival. So how were they able to slow down such a potent Athens offense?
I wouldn't even call it slowing them down, Joseph. They were just clutch. This Athens offense was moving the ball with ease all night, but they struggled getting those last few yards and finding the end zone. It was almost like we were seeing a different Logan defense once Athens got into their red zone, as the Chieftains stopped Athens on 4th down 3 times in the first half, 2 of which were on the goal line. But the Chieftains weren't the only team that had an impressive defense tonight. This experienced Athens defense is stacked with veterans, and they were not letting Logan move the ball tonight. We are already halfway into the season, and Athens has allowed just 36 points. That's 31 points less than any other team in the conference. Joseph, these guys are playing like some actual Bulldogs out there. They're sniffing out the ball and attacking. At the end of the day, this was a huge win for the Bulldogs as they picked up some valuable playoff points against a Division II team.
That definitely was a crucial win for Athens. Clark, we appreciate the good work tonight, my man. Now, with the way things are shaking out, it seems like Athens, they're on a collision course with Nelsonville York and this guy right here for the TVC Ohio Crown. Check out our snap of the week. This is Buckeye Garrett Maiden on the bus, and he's got a couple things on his mind: football and winning that TVC Ohio trophy. We've seen this dude go off already this season, and hey, the Buckeyes, they're rolling. Thanks for the snap, guys. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the Buckeyes. One player in Nelsonville is leading the entire state of Ohio in tackles this season. That player is middle linebacker Ronnie Wind, and now senior reporter Josh Gregory joins me to take a look at this young stud.
Joey P., before tonight, this young man had 83 tackles. And after tonight, he is right on the cusp for triple-digit numbers, and that's in just 6 games. There is nothing but respect for him out in Nelsonville.
All right, here we go, boys, let's go. Nelsonville's defense is making a name for itself across the state.
He's 165 pounds. He's not supposed to have 83 tackles as a middle linebacker, but evidently no one's told him that.
And that's largely because of the Buckeyes' only returning linebacker, senior Ronnie Wen, who leads the state in tackles this season.
I'm always telling you, Rick, for locker room, I'll have more tackles than you. He'll say, I'll bet you. And it's always a bet between him and Collister, Colt. And, it's just everybody motivated to make tackles.
With this motivation, the Buckeyes' defense has only allowed an average of about 10 points per game.
Between him and Donald McCollister, Colt Ganger, they've been playing pretty lights out, so pretty happy so far.
And Coach Richards isn't the only one who's happy with Wend.
No, it feels like I want to be out there with him. It means a lot. I mean, it's definitely in your blood. I mean, you just want to keep the tradition going.
Now to hear another Ronnie Wind, and he's doing a tremendous job, and to hear his name announced time after time after time on tackles and everything, it just makes you feel really good.
Tackle.
You got to lay it on the line and just have fun doing it.
After tackle.
You can't coach heart. You got a lot of heart.
After tackle.
Ronnie Wen and the Buckeyes rolled past Megs tonight 49-14, and with a defense like this, I don't see them stopping anytime soon.
It's hard to disagree with you there, Josh. Thanks a lot, boss. Now let's get your first dose of the MVL tonight. Morgan, they were on the road at Maysville, and MVL reporter Scott McDonald was on the road for this one too. He now joins us live from Zanesville.
Yeah, Joey P., it was a matchup between one team that needed a win to cling on to their very slim MVL championship hopes, and another just looking for their second win of the season. However, both of these teams are coming off of a loss, but they needed a win to get the momentum going in the final 4 weeks. Connor Sidwell and the Panthers seemed to just want it more throughout the game, though. On Morgan's first possession, Dakota Leopold drops back, throws it to the man, but a Panther tip drill ensues, and Cage Rucker takes it all the way to pay dirt, 6-0 after the missed extra point. And this is just how the game went. Right off of the lower upright, and you can't do anything about that. There's a laser field goal. On the Raiders' next possession, they are putting together a great drive, and Leopold doesn't see Kobe Gamble, who picks him off in the end zone. Maysville takes over at the 1. And the domination is on. Carson Jarrett off the back end sweep, cuts off the rear end of his blocker, runs upfield and hits the hole hard. A 42-yard touchdown, 14-0 Panthers following the 2-point conversion. On Maysville's next drive, Sidwell rewards Kobe Gamble for that red zone INT with a 20-yard touchdown reception, 21-0 at the halfway mark. Following those homecoming halftime festivities, Panthers drive is capped off by 5-yard Carson Jarrett score untouched, 28-0 early third. But at least the Raiders played until the final whistle. The bootleg by Leopold hit Wesley Pauly, 6 yards, but much to no avail. The Panthers would win 48-6.
Now, Scott, Morgan was able to move the ball decently well, but why do you think they weren't able to finish drives off?
Well, it starts with the quarterback. Dakota Leopold was moving the chains and pushing Maysville's defense back, but the issue was the 3 interceptions. They were absolute drive killers, and Maysville capitalized on them. You saw the pick 6 and the red zone interception, and if you want to upset someone in their own house, you cannot afford to give up easy takeaways, especially against a team that is more experienced and more talented. Easy turnovers turn to easy points, and that is why blowouts happen, Joey P.
Now, Maysville, they dominated on both ends of the ball. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's all in the preparation. Both of these teams run similar offenses in the triple option. It just seemed like Maysville's defense knew when the bootlegs were coming. And on the offensive side, Maysville was just more talented. They put more of their playmakers in space, and that simply was it. That was all they needed. The Panthers were the better team tonight, and that showed on the scoreboard and certainly in the standings as well, with the Panthers at 4-2 and the Raiders at 1-5.
Well, it seems like we always got you out there for live shots, Scott. Awesome work tonight, man. Now we're going to take a short break from the Gridiron action. Let's talk social media, specifically Facebook. I know you probably have your phone out right now anyway, so go ahead and check out the Gridiron Glory Facebook page and give us a like. It's a great way for us to connect with you at home, and of course, even better for you to connect with us. So go ahead and hit that like button. Now we head over to the TBC Hocking. The Southern Tornadoes and the Federal Hocking Lancers, they're polar opposites when it comes to positioning in the conference, but the two met up tonight, and reporter Nick Mullins was there to take it all in.
Joey P., the Lancers and Tornadoes are definitely polar opposites at this point in the season. The Southern is looking to keep up their winning ways, and Federal Hocking is looking to break their 28-game losing streak. Fed Hawk opens the game strong, stopping Southern, but on their second play of the game, QB Hunter Smith fumbles it and the Tornadoes would recover. Southern would take advantage when Riley Roush wasn't messing around, as one play later he takes it in for the touchdown with 8:30 in the first quarter. The Lancers would bounce back in no time when 3 plays later Smith rolls out and he lets it fly. It just gets over the hands of Roush as Brandon Gold catches it and he's gone 69 yards to the house. That's some top play caliber stuff as the Lancers tie things up at 6. Now we go into the ensuing kickoff. Joey P., can you say scoring frenzy? The familiar name of who else? Riley Roush. He breaks it with not 1 but 2 tacklers as he goes 75 yards to the end zone. That's 3 touchdowns and 5 plays. On the Tornadoes' next drive, Roush scores his 3rd touchdown. And can someone stop this man as he sets himself up for his 4th touchdown? This is just getting out of hand. Southern leads 27-6 after a ridiculous block punt return for a touchdown. Southern leads 33-6. The Lancers' next possession, Dylan Smith picks it off, setting him up for this 19-yard QB keeper to the end zone. The Lancers trail 41-6 at half. Fed Hawk gets picked off again, setting up another Southern TD, but then Hunter Smith stands in the pocket, gets smashed, and he delivers this beautiful pass to Trevor Bell, who comes down with the acrobatic catch. The Lancers would tie things, would get their 2nd touchdown of the half, but would end up losing 55-14. Joey P., it was a scoring frenzy out there. The Tornadoes just seem to be on a mission to show that they're atop this conference.
Seems like they are. And, that was one lopsided game. It seemed like nothing could really go in the Lancer direction.
Yeah, Federal Hocking had their chances, but mistake after mistake was just so hard to overcome. Riley Roush proved why he should be a GG Player of the Year candidate. He was so dominant all season long, and tonight he looked like a man among boys. He just was faster and stronger than anyone on the field with the dual threat of Logan Drummer and Dylan Smith. That offense is so dynamic.
Riley Roush, he did look pretty impressive tonight, and this Southern team, they'll go as far as he can take them, really. So with the Lancers losing their 29th game in a row now, what can they take from this game moving forward, you think?
Federal Hocking has a lot to look forward to with QB Hunter Smith leading this team. He was dropping dimes out there tonight. As just a freshman, he stood against one of the best teams in the Hocking. Southern now seems to be in a 2-way race for the Hocking with Waterford.
Well, I know one thing. That Southern Waterford game in 2 weeks, Nick. It's going to be huge for that title race in this conference. Good stuff from you out there tonight, my man. Well, if you like the highlights from that game and you want to watch them over again, you can always go back and re-watch them. So check out the WOUB PBS YouTube channel where you can find all of our visual content. We're posting all kinds of stuff on there throughout the week to hold you over before Friday's big game, and I know you're waiting for it. YouTube.com, Gridiron Glory, check us out. Of course, you can also watch our YouTube videos to learn about our Gridiron Glory Player of the Year candidates at the end of the season. But now, senior reporter Eric Treat II is here to highlight our Player of the Year favorites now.
And there are always a lot of favorites, and when you have 40 teams, many of which ball out, it becomes a very competitive race, and everybody and their mama wants to be Player of the Year. So let's see who's making a strong case as of right now. In the MVO, they have one of the strongest conferences in our coverage. Let's start with the Scottes. Andrew Newsom, experienced, smart quarterback. He makes great decisions, and that's what you want to see out of a quarterback. And he has a soft touch. He puts the ball where he needs to go. Isaac Gill of the Philo Electric, athleticism, a dual threat quarterback, ball hawking safety. Don't mess with this man. And then you got Justin Hickok, calm under pressure as he demonstrated with the game-winning drive against Sheridan. Now Jackson, you see them, they're in a familiar spot, first place in their conference. And Blake McCoy scored 9 touchdowns 3 different ways. And you have Dylan Stewart, one of the newest bucket getters of our conference. 15 touchdowns through week 5, but he's not the only dual threat quarterback in this conference. Brandon Moffmer, Southeast Ohio District Player of the Year last season, over 1,100 total yards before tonight. Brandon inserts himself into the conversation. So let's stay in Chillicothe, the Scioto Valley Conference. Zane Trace, Unioto, and Southeastern all have jewels on their squad. And Southeastern shut down Ty Shanton, making it harder to put Zane Trace in the playoffs for the third straight season. Gabe Fisher has done a great job of filling Clay Edler's shoes. And you got to talk about Southeastern's backfield of Dakota Hauser and Carson Stauffer. They shine the brightest, and the Panthers are in first place. All right, so you got to look at this. Nelsonville, York, they get the whole full screen. They earned it. All you non-Buckeyes out there, Wellston, Venn County, Athens, I need y'all to get y'all stuff together. Garrett and Keegan have led a very balanced attack, and you see Ronnie leading the state in tackles. And you know, in the Hocking, it's all about the ground game. You get 3 physical, elusive, and game-changing backs. And the most physical has to be Braden Belfield. If we had a beast mode of our coverage, that's your guy. In addition to that, we have Zach Waldrop and Max Hooper, who provide consistent yardage for their teams, and I think they got the toughest last names of our coverage.
They probably do. We can always count on this guy right here, Eric Threet II, or exclusive info, in-depth analysis. We appreciate it, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's Tweet of the Week time. We tweeted earlier this week that Nelsonville York was the only team in our coverage to crack the AP poll. And naturally, Buckeye Colt Yinger, he weighed in saying, not slowing down anytime soon. The Buckeyes, they're confident out there, boys, you can tell. And I see no complacency with these guys, even after last year's TVC Ohio title. We appreciate that tweet, my man. So for Chillicothe and Hillsboro, Week 6 marks more than just the midway point of the season. This week is the first for FAC conference play. Blake Baker, he now joins the program.
Well, considering it's been 12 years at least since either of these schools have won a conference crown, you could tell that these guys were ready to get into conference play, and this game could not come soon enough for the Cavs and Indians. Now, for Chillicothe fans, this is an SCOL rivalry, but they are ready to kick off Frontier Athletic Conference play, and the Cavs fans got a kick out of Brandon Moffmer's performance early. Here's a 13-yard scamper on the first play of the game off of the right side, and on a 3rd and 2 later in the drive, Moffmer connects with his playmaker, J.J. Harris. He's going to rumble through some Indian defenders for an 8-yard gain to keep the drive alive. Gives Moffmer another chance to work, and work he does. Nice little read option up the middle, another 13-yard gain, getting it done with his legs. And Connor Mathis is going to cap off a 13-play, 88-yard drive with this 3-yard rush right up the middle, 4-6, 7-0 in favor of the Cavs. Now here's our first look at Hillsboro's quarterback. Mason Swain's the name, sneaking is the game. 2-yard chunk right here on 4th and 1 to keep the drive alive, but he effectively kills the drive as he coughs this one up, ball's on the ground, the Cavs hop all over it. But Chillicothe, nothing doing on offense, so here's some positivity out of the Indians' backfield as Joshua Keats from the fullback position. He's patient. He bounces it out for a 21-yard gain. But again, Hillsboro is handing it right back to the Cavaliers. Mason Swain makes a bad decision. He lost this one up into double coverage, and J.J. Harris for the Cavs comes down with it. Going the other way once again, Brandon Moffmer is going to make him pay once again. 6 on this 13-yard run, makes a nice cut, makes one dude miss, and it's nothing but daylight for the big fella. His first of 3 touchdowns on the game, finds a blue turf for a 14-0 lead, and it was all Chillicothe from there, 42-20, and the Cavs are off to a 1-0 conference start.
Absolutely 1-0. These guys, they looked evenly matched coming in, but it ended as a blowout as we just saw. So was there anything that specifically separated these teams tonight in your eyes?
Yeah, well, the theme tonight was discipline. And for Chillicothe, that focus fell on the defensive side of the ball. Look, defending that triple option isn't easy, and this was the only time the Cavs are going to see it all season. And outside's defensive line did a great job of playing low. The linebackers scraped well, and they tackled well. I'd say the defense met Coach Hinton's expectations coming in.
So now moving over to Hillsboro, how did Hillsboro fare with that discipline?
Well, the Indians were disciplined in sticking to the run, but once they fell behind, it made it harder to keep that up, and it was even harder when they gave the ball away and gave the Chillicothe offense extra chances. Not only the turnovers, but there were 2 defensive offsides for Hillsboro on 4th downs, and that just puts it in perspective for you.
Absolutely. The result, it wasn't crazy exciting, but there was a notable quarterback battle entering this game, wasn't there?
There was, but only one really showed out for us. Mason Swain was almost completely neutralized. He had very few chances in the run game, only 7 carries, and they tried it out with other options. But boy, Brandon Moffmer, he had himself a day. 211 yards on the ground and 55 on the first drive alone. His impact showed early and often, and he's the biggest reason for the huge win tonight. Now, after 1 week of conference play, Chillicothe looks like one of the teams to beat in this conference. Brandon Moffmer and the boys have a lot to prove in the next 4 weeks.
They certainly do. You were hard at work tonight. We appreciate all your effort, my man. Well, now let's take it over to the MVL again. 2 schools who held a share of last year's conference crown went at it tonight, Sheridan and Philo. And we knew this one was going to be the real deal. All right, so Duncan Falls was rocking tonight for the big game. We had MVL reporter Nick Orsini there. He joins us live from Zanesville to break down this much anticipated matchup.
Yeah, Joey P. These two teams put on an absolute thriller last year in Thornville, but that was then, and this is now. So tonight in Duncan Falls, it was only fitting that it would be another thriller in their rivalry. Philo was going to need maximum effort tonight to try and shut down the Sheridan high-powered offense. First play from scrimmage, Ethan Heller drops back, and he's looking downfield. He finds his favorite target, Ethan Tabor, who fights off a defender. However, that drive would stall. Ensuing Philo possession, Isaac Gill, he appears to hand it off, but no, it's a flea flicker. Gill launches one downfield and hits Cole Smith in stride. Now 3 plays later, Gill escapes the pocket and goes into the end zone from 11 yards out. It's 7-0 Philo midway through the first. Now next Sheridan possession, Heller takes the snap. He's trying to find somebody. He spins, he jukes, he finds none other than his favorite target, Tabor, who makes the catch between 3 Philo defenders, setting up Heller for a 3-yard touchdown rush. 7-7 still in the first quarter. After forcing a Sheridan punt, Philo started running the no-huddle led offense by Gill and Aiden Carpenter. Carpenter capped off the 12-play drive with a 3-yard rush. 14-7 Philo with 6 minutes left in the first half. Now Philo stopped Sheridan on 4th down, but Gill is intercepted by Tanner Wallenberg, setting up Sheridan to potentially tie the game before halftime. But Philo's Aaron Phillip tips Heller's pass, and as he's falling to the ground, secures the acrobatic interception. Now, it was 14-7 at halftime, but Philo still won 21-18.
So Philo gets the nail-biting victory tonight. It looked like either team could have really come away with it. How did Philo end up on the winning side?
Well, Joey P., it was a case of whoever was going to make the least mistakes was probably going to win the game. Drop passes, penalties, and turnovers plagued both teams. Sheridan had 9 first-half penalties with 2 turnovers. Philo had 2 fumbles and an interception, but still had an edge over the Generals. Now, Sheridan, they wouldn't quit. They got the onside kick. They were down by 3, but Philo's defense still went on to win. When you get 14 turnovers, that's what happens. You can't do that with a team like Philo. Philo wins 21-18, Joey P.
All right, Nick, we appreciate you holding it down in Zanesville tonight. Get home safe, man. Well, that does it for our game coverage tonight, but we're not done yet. We've still got some big-time business to take care of, so let's check out tonight's top plays. And we're going to start you off with play number 3, and it takes you out to the Plains. This is the second play of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Clay Davis takes a snap and finds Trace Albin streaking across the middle. It ain't his birthday, but he's got his name on that cake. 6 candles on it in the form of points. We'll be seeing you. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Now play number 2. Philo and Sheridan with the Generals threatening to score, rolling out to his left on the run, but Aaron Phillips says, no, Bubby, interception. Take care now, boys. We're going the other way with it, and our top play of the night, Federal Hocking on their own 31-yard line from the shotgun. Hunter Smith sends it. Brandon Gold comes up with it, and at this point, it's a foot race with the officials. 69 yards to the house. Nice touchdown there. We will see you here next week. There's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.